Welcome to the Sam the Card Games channel. I am your host, Sam, joined by everybody's favorite person, Justinian the Great.
Hello, how is everyone doing?
Today we are looking at Reigns the Game. And as you can see, I've already played this game a little bit. We are about to start year number 1415.
So, I guess the game is progresses by year.
Yes. And every move that you make is a year. So now we have the river drop is dry again. We should build a dam. Yes. And as you can see, as you make different choices, it affects your four categories up top. The first one
Okay.
being your church, the second one being the people, the third being your military, and your fourth one being your funding.
Looks like you're a little heavy on funding right now, huh?
I was
Wait.
underfunded. So the higher the value, the more you have, the lower the value, the less. And you want to kind of keep it centered because if you run too low, you die. If you run too
I see it
high,
now.
you die. And so I would like to sing a song for your majesty. Yes, no, we're not going to do that. So you kind of have to figure out your balance. If something gets too high, if you know kind of as you play the game, you kind of figure out how things get affected. There's some things you can do that will affect, will actually show you what the percentages of how it'll be affected. And we will actually see something like that in this video.
What are the options down to the bottom right? Unmask the senator, date a penguin, see the future.
Those are, what do you call them? So as you see, I ran out of church, and so the pagan mob destroyed me. And King Edward died, only, like, not even 15, like 12 years after. So now we're at 28 with 41st King Baldwin. The things at the bottom, those are, what do you call them?
Lifelines?
Not lifelines, but what's the word? It's something you want to do. It's, I can't think of the word. And so as you can see right now, what we're doing is we are fencing with the painter. That's who this guy is. He's the architect.
Okay.
And depending on how you answer, as you see up top, it affects what your move is going to be. And what you want to do is you want to perform a move that takes out the other guy, but doesn't take you out. And so you kind of have to figure out what are they going to do and make your decision based on that. And as you can see, we successfully won. So we have the unexpected proposal. That's what the things down at the bottom are, except unexpected. I'm sorry, no, it's not. That's a new move that we have learned.
Got a lot of depth to it for being just a card game.
It does. It's really entertaining. And there's one way to pronounce that word. It's that way. If you do the other option, she won't tell you something to learn. So if you learn how to trick the devil, this is something that'll come in handy later on in the game. I haven't figured it out yet, but if you figure out how to trick the devil at the end of the game, something special happens.
Cool.
So now they won't want to pay tax because of celestial beings, so you have to decide.
Reminds me of that concept, like tricking the devil, kind of reminds me of that. Something I did in another game called Red Bow. It was an indie game where you actually had to ask a question where some.
So as you see there, we ran out of money and died. So Baldwin died literally 10 years after he became king. So now we're going to 1439. We want to attack those Eastern baronies to keep them from taking us down. Now we have the printing press. So this is what it is. So it's an accomplishment. So you want to discover like the different accomplishments, and those are what the boxes are at the bottom. And there's a bunch of different ones, but it only kind of shows the top 3. So then the bird says we're being attacked, so we should attack them. So then you have the regulation of chicken prices. And so depending on how you answer this, kind of depends on what happens. The way we answered it, the threat of regulating the price of chicken has a positive effect. And so therefore they end up just saying, no, we don't want that, so we'll accept your terms. So here we're at war with too many countries. If we cease fire, it'll save us some money. And we have a lizard down in the eastern baronies that wants to become a dragon and kill me. So we say kill him, and it completely destroys the eastern baronies and puts them in turmoil. This is basically Jesus of this game.
Okay.
You can fight him in a fencing battle and kill him, and he becomes like the risen and like completely redefines the church or something. I haven't quite figured it out, but it's interesting.
I don't know if I like the idea of a game where you can kill Jesus.
I mean, the Romans did it,
Yeah.
and it was a part of the prophecy, and it needed to happen. So as you see, we ran out of money again. And this time, instead of dying with nothing, we got eaten by dogs.
That's brutal.
Sometimes it's brutal, sometimes it's not. So now we're going to William, 43rd king. And we start with a cholera outbreak.
Okay.
And then there's more harvest issues. People are famished, but that guy usually lies. This is your wife. This is the queen. And her brother is a dick.
Henry Courtenay.
That's not his brother. This is her brother.
Edward.
He's visiting for a couple of years.
Oh, God.
And there's basically nothing you can really do about it. This guy is also a dick, but he kind of comes in handy. And you'll see why he's a dick in a minute. So
Is he a
he's going to
member of
pay
the
us
church?
royalties. I don't think he is. I think he's one of the knights.
Ah.
So then this guy says random things about different things. Some of it makes sense. Some of it you kind of have to play for a while to figure out. I still haven't figured it out. So the Eastern Baronies are at war. We remember them from the last king. We destroyed them by slaying a lizard.
Okay.
So yeah, so he published our book and he wants to give us 5% of the royalties. So no, we're not doing that. You're going to give us everything. Because we're going to beat you and torture you as with Justice Thomas. The broken prophet was back there. And Edward, you remember that was the queen's brother. And he wants to stay for a couple of years. So we look at him and say, get out. This dog, this is actually the devil. But at some points it can use you something. So this orange mushroom, as you can see, now tells you exactly what you have. And it'll tell you exactly how your decision will affect your points, which really comes in handy because certain things that you do can destroy you. So you can kind of figure out how you should answer a question. Like if we answer yes to this, our people will go to 0 and we die. So we don't want to say yes, we want to say no, just because we don't want to die.
Seems like money is the thing that you end up losing because of the most.
Oh, you spend a lot of money, but you can make a lot of money. The thing that's really hard to keep up with to me is money and your people. Now the thing
Yeah, I've
also,
noticed your people have been pretty low, with the exception of right now.
yeah.
Ooh, church is looking pretty bad right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna build them up a little bit. We're gonna give the power to the divine justice. The Pope wants to pay us, so you know what? We're gonna let the Pope in. So now we're gonna fight Limitus of Alamanian. Now watch how we kill him because it's quite entertaining. We're gonna angry bore him.
Okay.
It's kind of a balancing act. You want to kind of unexpected proposal. We're going to do that. And he dies. So I'm dying, faking agony. The king killed me. I'm a martyr. And now he's Jesus. And wants to create a new church. And if you say yes or no, it'll kind of affect the church. So, because we're almost to the point of the church taking over, we had to tell him no. And then it's just like...
See, you have to balance it out, too.
Yeah.
It's not just about, not losing everything. You also have to not let anybody get to like 100%, or rather 100.
Because if we did the schism here, then the church would have become too powerful and the Pope will come and murder you.
Well, that's not nice.
You'll get thrown into the dungeon. So we're under attack by beggars, so, we're going to do the sensible thing and throw them out. And as you can see, that made the church happy, and now the Pope is coming to take over. So now we're in the dungeon.
Oh.
And a couple of things can happen in the dungeon, because we wanted to escape. You can fight the skeleton, but if you lose, it's an instant death. And so if you go through the gold door, there's always a treasure chest. You're going to want the key. And then you're going to kind of have to just kind of wander through it. The word, so the air smells of thickness. If you go through the air door, it will actually bring you to a door, which will bring you out. So because we're here, we went back to the air door. So there's the door. You can use the key to open it. And now we get to go back to the castle. That's how you beat the dungeon. And then
all your numbers were dropping.
Yeah. So now we have the Silk Road, which is going to be a steady increase on our money. This woman you can have an affair with, and it will bring your church down, but you've got to be to that section of the game.
Lovely.
So now I don't need the money, and so we're not going to dig because that will help with the people. So now we're going to go with a walk with this lady, and this is basically where you can have an affair with her. And if you do, the church won't be happy, but your people will be a lock, so you won't have to worry about them. So
this is the longest you've actually... During this session, this is the furthest you've gone on so far.
Yes, sometimes you do. And so we're going to kill her with an unexpected proposal. And so depending on how you answer here, kind of depends on what happens.
You are a pompous oaf.
I answered that correctly. But I'm a pompous oaf. You're better off to eat the cake, so just accept the cake. We're not going to listen to this guy. We're going to tell him to go to hell. Or not. We're going to repent. Never mind. I decided against that. But as you can see, so the monetary is now locked, which means you can no longer say no to the church, but you no longer have to worry about money. And so now we have the song by our minstrel. But nice
Graham
and clean
Loosetongue.
with the constantly. Yes, he is the jester. Yeah, we definitely need some more soldiers.
So what happens if people goes to 100?
I do not remember. So I don't need the money, but we're going to say yes anyway, just to kind of put some things around. Now we're going to have an affair with Lady Sealwich. So as you can see, the people is now locked, and the church goes down. But the problem is our people's at 100. So there's anarchy. But we don't die. We just exist.
That is... Well, apparently the king is dead, so...
I mean, it only lasts as long as that, because then your next king comes in, which now is going to be the 44th King Edward. And Edward's a dick. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Edward's a dick. And so as you can see, the money is still going up. That's because of that spice trade. And you can see it down at the bottom. You have that bowl with spice. Down at the bottom, that kind of shows you what your power-ups or your skills are. So it'll kind of, and that'll affect kind of what happens with the game.
So how many years does this game go on?
It goes, as far as I can tell, up to like the year 2000. So we ate the blue mushroom. This makes for some fun stuff.
Oh boy. Ooh. That dude's a rabbit.
It's because we took shrooms, basically. We're high. King Edward is high. And
Oh,
if
it's
you say
Rabbit
yes
Man.
to marrying the young princess, it only ends in goodness. So our peasants are breeding like rabbits, and they want us to do something, so we're not going to. And then this is the father. The military ransacked the thing, but the priest was too high, so we got rid of him.
The rabbits just make everything kind of amusing.
Yeah. And it lasts for a certain period of time. If you survive long enough, it will wear off. And I think, yeah, it just wore off. So if you look at the bottom, the blue mushroom isn't there anymore, which says that that is no longer there. This guy's a dick. His friends robbed the treasury. But we got some of it back, so it's not like it matters. This guy wants to be a racist and blame the Iron migrants. So we're going to say yes, because why not? The blackbird usually has some weird things that happen. Right now, it's a kraken is off the lands. This guy hates the jester, so he wants to dismember him. But we're going to figure out why. If I pay him, the money's going to go down, so we're going to get rid of the people instead. So cereals are cheap. We have no money, so we can double it, or we can raise it slightly. We're doubling it. So this, it kind of just depends. So this is your queen, and she wants to give birth to a son, so if you answer as an heir, then it's goodness, but now one of them is going to die. So you can choose to save the queen or the child. This playthrough, we're going to save the queen. So now they're hunting witches. It's basically Salem in 1800s. And
Except you're in the 1500s, so it's technically the Inquisitions.
Yeah, basically. This guy, I really don't know who he is, but you gotta love his hair. And he wants to have a classy coup. So she wants to stand out in front of the windows and wave to a bunch of people, so we're gonna do that. The western villagers are afraid of goblins. Yeah. For some reason, the minstrel knows that the eastern baronies are attacking. So you can give people the supplies or you can't help them. It's either going to affect your money or affect your people. And then there's this dick.
Puck.
Nothing comes good from someone named Puck. And the people are gathering to sing because they're afraid of me and the army. So it's as they should be, because they should be afraid of me, because I'm Edward the Dick. This is the executioner, and he wants to be a serial killer. So we're not going to let him. Then she wants to open the shops. It's going to bring the people up, so we're going to go ahead with that. You do not want this guy to be the executioner, and I'm going to show you why. Because the King Edward the Dick is going to die the way all dicks should. By the plague.
Oh, shit.
This is why you don't want the doctor to be the executioner. You will die of the plague every time. 60% of the time, it works. All the time.
Well, looks like we're getting close to the end here.
See, there's your kind of your royal deeds and all the other good stuff. We are indeed at the end, so thank you for watching Reigns on Sam the Car Guy Games. This has been your host, Sam the Car Guy, and Justinian the Great, saying have a good one until next time.
See you guys later.
Pieces before pieces, yo.
I smell shit.